Okay, today we're going to discuss the Rental Construction Financing Initiative program offered by CMHC, the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation. You can potentially borrow a minimum of $1 million for your Max Suite project. Let's dive into the details. Welcome back. Thanks for watching. I'm Andy from Suite Additions, where we help investors and homeowners create more housing and generate wealth. We'd really appreciate if you can hit the like button and please subscribe to the channel. Additionally, we're currently putting together a comprehensive in-person training program covering in detail the principles, strategies, and tactics as part of the Max Suite strategy. We'll share more info at the end of this video, and you can also check it out at suiteadditions.com/training. Okay, so let's get into the CMHC Rental Construction Financing Initiative. Imagine a program that's basically a gentle nudge to homeowners and small developers saying, hey, why not sprinkle some more rental housing magic? It offers a low interest loan and the minimum is a cool $1 million. We're talking $1 million handshake for building 5 units and beyond. Although the intent of this program is for larger apartment construction, this can potentially work for small developers who wish to implement the Max Suite strategy at a slightly larger scale, turning single-family homes into 5 units and up. This program has the opportunity to become buddies with Toronto's new multiplex policy, where you can convert a single-family home into 4 units, plus a garden suite or laneway suite for 5 units in total. Stay tuned for our next video where we outline the new Toronto multiplex policy in detail. For other cities, 5 units will not be as of right in many residential zones, but you may still have the opportunity to convert them to 5 units. More on that later. Okay, so let's start by giving you guys some details about this program. We're going to start with eligibility. First, as mentioned, there needs to be a minimum of 5 units. Secondly, the loan size has to be at least $1 million. You must also have the zoning in place, site plan approval, as well as the building permit. And the first construction draw must be within 6 months of the date of the loan agreement. You must demonstrate financial viability, meaning the ability to carry on the project without ongoing subsidies. And additionally, there are some social outcome requirements. So this is where you really have to make sure if this is the right program for you, because it could affect your financials in the future. So a few of these include, number 1, an affordability criteria. So at least 20% of the units need to have rents 30% below the median total income of all families in the area, and all the units must be at least 10% below the gross achievable residential income. Number 2, energy efficiency. Projects must be a minimum of 15% more efficient in energy consumption and emissions compared with the reference building code. And finally, number 3, accessibility requirements. At least 10% of the project must have accessibility standards that are suitable for seniors or people with disabilities. Our thinking for items number 1 and 3 for our projects is that it makes sense for the 5th unit garden suite to have it rented to a senior who will have a lower rent than market and be able to enjoy accessibility benefits, which is easier to do on a garden suite than one of the units in the main house. So now that we've tackled the who's eligible puzzle, let's dive into the exciting journey of how to make it happen. It's like following a recipe, but instead of cupcakes, you're baking a rental housing masterpiece. First thing to do is to contact a CMHC specialist by phone or email to determine if this is the right program for you and to determine whether they would finance a project like yours. Next, there's a detailed screening process where your project is either selected for underwriting, rejected, or kept on hold. If you're selected, you would have to pay the application fee, and then it can take up to 265 days to complete the underwriting process. Now, don't get too excited. This doesn't mean that you're approved yet. After that, the CMHC Credit Committee will perform a final review and decision of the application. Successful applicants will be issued a letter of intent, and once you sign that letter of intent, a loan agreement would be typically issued within 40 days of the signing. So this will then initiate the execution of the loan agreement for monthly construction draws. At the end of the 10-year term, borrowers will be required to have the CMHC insured mortgage assumed by a National Housing Act approved lender. So that covers the application process at a high level. As you can see, it's not straightforward and there are no guarantees. You should definitely not do any real estate deals with the expectation that you would be able to get this funding. You need to have your own funding already in place, and this can be something you can try, and if successful, your original funds can be allocated elsewhere. Basically, your project should come to the funding party already dressed to impress. No fashionably late arrivals here. All of the details for this initiative is provided in the link in the description. We'll now touch on another program that you might be interested in or incorporate into this particular program for your project. MLI Select is a new multi-unit mortgage loan insurance product focused also on affordability, accessibility, and energy-efficient homes. It uses a point system based on your performance of these objectives and provides insurance incentives according to your score. We won't get into the details for this program, but the link is in the description for you to find out more on how this works. Here's a little piece of advice that's as valuable as finding the last slice of pizza at a party. Connect with a top-notch mortgage broker to be your project's guiding star. They're like the GPS of the real estate world, helping you navigate through the twists and turns of the crazy rate environment that we're in right now. Of course, there are also plenty of federal, provincial, and municipal green retrofit incentives, rebates, low-interest loans, and grants available. These include the Canada Greener Homes Grant and the Energy Rebate Plus program. We put out a video recently, so if you haven't checked it out, link is below as well. Finally, let's talk a bit about the process of converting a home to 5 units and up. As mentioned earlier, in Toronto, it may be possible to convert a single-family home to 4 units through the multiplex policy combined with the garden suite or laneway house policy. However, before you start dreaming of your 5-unit rental empire, here's a reality check. In most Canadian cities and towns, building 5 units isn't as of right. This means that the bylaw doesn't currently allow that many number of units in the existing low-density zones. However, the current sentiment and environment is that many municipalities recognize the importance of density and see these multi-unit conversions as providing the missing middle housing that is needed. This means that if your property has a large enough lot and perhaps already something in proximity to other higher density housing or is in a community that has good walkability or public transit, then you should be able to get support. You would still have to go through a zoning amendment process for approval, which means your neighbors do get involved in the decision. But if your project makes sense, often neighbor objections would get ignored. If you get rejected within the city, there's also the possibility to appeal that decision with the Ontario Land Tribunal. In our current environment, if you have the time and money to go through this process, many higher density conversion projects have a good chance of success due to the severe lack of housing. And the government is relying on the efforts of a lot of enterprising homeowners and small developers like yourself to provide the housing that we need. Okay, so that's all we're going to cover in this video. We hope that you got some good ideas to see if your projects would be suitable for any of these programs. Again, we're putting together an in-person comprehensive training program on implementing the Max Rate strategy. Our original plan was to have the course available this coming fall, but it will be in the new year instead, as we wanted to make this training the best that it can be to help you create more housing and generate wealth. The training will be packed full of practical, detailed information, just like what we covered here. If you're interested, please go to sweetadditions.com/training to apply, and we'll give you more details about the training. In the meantime, have a look at your properties and see if it might be suitable for the CMHC program. So what are your thoughts? Do you think this program is worth pursuing? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks again for watching. Please click like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. To learn more about the Max Suite strategy, download our free guides at sweetadditions.com and get started. And if you enjoyed this video, here's another great one for you.